These combos are where I take a Yu Hakusho card and a past card and just put them together to show how they synergize with each other. Let's kick it off with number 10. I have Carbo Loading. And Carbo Loading combos with anything that readies it. And you ready it by gaining health. Immortal Shapeshifter seems like the obvious answer here on the life symbol. You destroy a foundation, give your attack a damage, then you check a 5. And if you gain the health, you get to re-ready Carbo Loading. You can also use cards like Beast Summoning to ready Carbo Loading twice. You can use Beast Summoning Bottom Enhance to ready Carbo Loading, and then you can commit Carbo Loading again, and then you can use Carbo Loading's response to ready Carbo Loading, because this does not say only if this hasn't been readied this turn. This does, but this doesn't. So you'd go Beast Summoning first, and then back into Carbo Loading, and now you've gotten to ready Carbo Loading twice on your offensive turn and give 9 damage entirely. Also, you can use Beast Summoning. It says you can ready a foundation with a printed difficulty of 3, 4, or 5. So if we are using Carbo Loading and say like Ultra Regeneration, we could use Carbo Loading doesn't say commit itself. It's just 90% of the time used that way. But you could commit Ultra Regen for 4 damage, re-ready it with Beast Summoning, use it with Carbo Loading again for 4 more damage. Coming in at number 9, we have Command Pigeon Flock. And this just got so much better with Yu Hakusho and all of the ally foundations that we got. The best one to me to build seems to be Urameshi Perseverance. We just saw this deck, this Coda deck, doing really well, piloted by Mike Hardiman, where he would just play Tasty Riff after Tasty Riff after Tasty Riff, and he had all sorts of ways to find his Tasty Riffs. Well, Command Pigeon Flock with Perseverance says, I can build this in, I could then form, remove it, discard a momentum, and grab a Tasty Riff, or I can grab a Command Pigeon Flock. In fact, you can just repeat that as many times as you want on Coda until you either run out of momentum or you run out of Urameshi Perseverance. You go Command Pigeon Flock, build in Perseverance, form, remove it, discard a momentum, grab a Command Pigeon Flock, play Command Pigeon Flock, build in another Perseverance, remove it, discard a momentum, get a Command Pigeon Flock, and then on your last one, maybe you go grab a Tasty Riff, and if that hits, you get to draw 3 cards. Pretty soon, you're just playing every attack in your deck. But also, with Life Jin, for example, Command Pigeon Flock building in Masho Concealment seems huge. This is pushing me towards thinking that Life is probably the best symbol for Jin. I just haven't been able to work out the attack lineup or quite work out the kinks in deck building. But this combo right here saying, hey, let's go ahead and build in maybe Jin's most powerful foundation. That everything's getting a damage, everything's getting -1 speed for free. If you're on Team Masho and you have Command Pigeon Flock symbols, feels like you have to be playing Command Pigeon Flock right now. Okay, coming in at number 8, we have Award the Victor with lots of ways to form and draw now on its symbols. So we can use Award the Victor, stack our deck with that attack, and then we can form, draw with the final test. Now we're getting that attack, and it gets even better because typically with Award the Victor, you're stacking your deck with a 3 check, but it gets +2, so it's really a 5 check. Basically, Award the Victor says, you clear your card pool, you're going to check a 5. Well, now with the final test, it says, you clear your card pool, you're going to draw your attack right back, and there's a good chance you check a 7 instead of checking a 5. It makes Award the Victor so much better. This is on 2 of its symbols. You do have to find a way to have discarded a card that combat phase, but that's not a huge cost. You can also use like Ura Otogi Expertise, form, commit, draw 1 card, only playable if you played an attack this turn. So respond, Award the Victor, form, draw it. It is a 2 difficulty though that you're having to commit. So of the 2, I prefer the final test as the best way to combo off of Award the Victor, but both are there. All right, our number 7 cool combo, we have Manifest and Dark Tournament Looms. We can play our Manifest, add a card from our card pool to our momentum, then we can play Dark Tournament Looms and just take it right back to our hand. This draws us a card, this draws us a card. We're just basically picking up an attack from our card pool. Both of these things replace itself, and then we're just picking up an attack from our card pool back into our hand. Now imagine you're using this for like Twisting Azure Inferno. And you say Twisting Azure Inferno, it doesn't count towards progressive basically. I'm going to pick it back up. I'm going to play it again. It still doesn't count towards progressive. There's a lot of silly things that you can do with these two actions. Of course, this is assuming that you are able to run both of these actions in your deck and then you actually draw the hand. You can also use like Hungry for Fame with Manifest to commit flip and then add that momentum to your hand. But now you're having to commit and flip a foundation. The Dark Tournament Loom seems like a much more cool variant. At number 6, we have Fierce Wings with Mop Strike, because Mop Strike says Desperation 3, meaning that if you're at less than half health, this becomes a 3 difficulty attack. Because it's a 3 difficulty attack, we can use Fierce Wings to add it to our hand. We could even take this a step further and sillier and add Ore Strike to our hand. And then if they ever enter deadlock, you say, yeah, I'll Fierce Wings, grab Ore Strike, I'll play Ore Strike, you're going to discard 3 cards. These both are only playable on the order symbol. With Fierce Wings, Mop Strike is probably a little more practical. Almost every deck on Mop Strike symbols is going to be running some Mop Strike. If you're playing Order Hawks these days, you're probably playing Mop Strike. So Fierce Wings, pick up Mop Strike. Very, very neat. Next up, in our top 5, we have Phantom Threat with Armor of the Wolf. Phantom Threat loves getting lots of +1 damage, right? And then each time it gets to respond for a speed and gets closer to flash. Well, putting Armor of the Wolf in your momentum, then you say +1 damage, respond for a speed. On Chaos and Air, this is getting Phantom Threat to pretty consistently get flash and draw. Now, that's not the main purpose of Phantom Threat. The main purpose of Phantom Threat is simply that it's a string starter that clears itself and goes to your momentum, giving you a momentum to use on your turn. What I like about Phantom Threat and Armor of the Wolf is how synergistic they are. If you lead Phantom Threat and put it into your momentum, you then have a momentum to use for EX3 or Powerful 3 for an Armor of the Wolf later. If you used an Armor of the Wolf and it got to your momentum, it's then going to help your Phantom Threats get bigger. So very, very synergistic attacks between these two. I think they're really going to push Chaos and Air Mirio over the top. Number 4, we have Snack Time paired with Frightening Calm. Now, these don't really combo with each other, but when you have both of these in your stage, it feels unfair. You get to discard a card, destroy a foundation. Every single attack is getting stunned too. Let's say your rival has 8 foundations. Well, then in 3 attacks, you've stunned 6. They probably had to block something. They're out of foundations after 3 attacks. The character that I think best takes advantage of this is probably Wolfwood, since he's an 8-hander, and so the snack time discarding a card isn't really a big deal. And he can really build up a nice stage to where these destroy foundations isn't a big deal. Maybe Death Younger Toguro, since he builds his stage so quickly. But this combination saying stun 2 feels unfair. Okay, our top 3. At number 3, we have Incredible Display paired with Protecting Yukina. So Protecting Yukina says, respond after you block with this card. The blocked attack deals no damage. Some of the best throw hate, some of the best zone hate. If you're playing against Mirio, for example, and they're just throwing low after low after low, Protecting Yukina says, if I block with it and discarded momentum, that doesn't matter. Then you can commit Incredible Display. After you block with the foundation, add it to your hand. So if you're any type of character where you just stack momentum like crazy, then you can just Protecting Yukina, discard the momentum, take no damage, commit, take it back, do it again. And the 2 momentum didn't really feel that heavily costed. Like really any Chaos character on these symbols where you can get momentum. And most Chaos characters like momentum. I'm thinking mostly of Amajiki, but almost any Chaos character can play this combination really, really well. All right, at number 2, we have Forcing Surrender with Double Fist of the Mortal Flame and with Trace Eyes. Forcing Surrender just got a lot better with these very good. Put 3 or 4 of them in your deck. If you're on these symbols, you're thinking very hard about putting 3 or 4 Double Fists into your deck, or 3 or 4 Trace Eyes into your deck. You just have to. They're basically free echo attacks, and that's crazy. Right, we can echo it and then lose 2 health and get our momentum back, or we just destroy a ready foundation to pay for this echo cost. Once they're echoed, then they become face downs in our card pool, and then we can use Forcing Surrender, discard 1 non-attack card from either player's card pool. So once they're face down our card pool, we just flip Forcing Surrender, and we've cleared our card pool even more. Both of these echo attacks have the fire symbol. Forcing Surrender has fire. And Trace Eyes has the death symbol to share with Forcing Surrender. So Forcing Surrender got a lot better. It was already a very good foundation, and it's just a nice 2 low block spam that you can put into your deck. But if you're playing these Echo attacks, you're probably going to now be playing 3 or 4 Forcing Surrender to combo with them. And our number 1 cool combo, at least to me, has to be Struggling with Studies with Referee Jury. You get to play Referee Jury, say their attacks take their attacks damage down to 4, and then we're going to get to draw a card. We're going to get to flip and commit a foundation to stun one on your rival's turn. And then we can flip Struggling with Study, take Referee Jury back to our hand, play Referee Jury again, and just do it over again. If you're on a symbol like Recovery Girl, for example, if Recovery Girl draws a Referee Jury, she's going to say, okay, I'll build Struggling with Studies. Okay, I'll take Referee Jury back to my hand. I'll play it again. I'll build Struggling with Studies. Like, how long do you want me to do this for? I can do this all day and get you to commit your entire stage on your turn. You can also combo Struggling with Studies with like Genkai's Guidance, since this doesn't take itself out of the card pool when you use the response. Although with this one, if you use Genkai's Guidance again, you've now blown up 6 foundations. I'm not sure if that might put you so far behind that you can't recover anyway in the game state, but it's something to think about, that you can pull Genkai's Guidance back to your head. I think the coolest combo, though, is the water symbol Struggling with Studies with Referee Jury. That's going to do it for 10 cool combos. If you have any combos that I missed, please drop them in the comments of this video because I would love to hear about them.